Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to the end of another week. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up today. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you're being part of my conversation with actress Valerie Jane Parker. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Friday headlines. In international news, countries worldwide hit new records for virus cases and deaths. Nations around the world set new records Thursday for COVID-19 deaths and new coronavirus infections, and the disease surged even in some countries that have kept the virus in check. In the United States, Detroit leaders began making a plan to knock on every door to persuade people to get shots. Brazil this week became just the third country after the U.S. and Peru to report a 24-hour tally of COVID-19 deaths that exceeded 4,000. India hit a peak of almost 127,000 new cases in 24 hours, and Iran set a new coronavirus infection record for the third straight day, reporting nearly 26,600 new cases. The Indian Prime Minister urged people to get vaccinated, writing in a tweet, "Vaccination is among the few ways we have to defeat the virus. If you are eligible for the vaccine, get your shot soon." The U.S. has now fully vaccinated nearly 20% of its adult population, and New Mexico became the first state to get shots in the arms of 25% of its residents, milestones that are still far off for many hard-hit countries. In India, home to 1.4 billion people, only 11 million are fully vaccinated. In Brazil, less than 3% of the country's 210 million people have received both doses, according to Our World in Data, an online research site. In national news, Biden tightens some gun controls, says much more is needed. President Joe Biden, in his first gun control measures since taking office, announced a half-dozen executive actions on Thursday aimed at addressing a proliferation of gun violence around the country, and he called it an epidemic and an international embarrassment. The idea that we have so many people dying every single day from gun violence in America is a blemish on our character as a nation, Biden said during remarks at the White House. He announced he is tightening regulations for buyers of ghost guns, homemade firearms that usually are assembled from parts and often lack serial numbers used to trace them. Also, a proposed rule, expected within 60 days, will tighten regulations on pistol stabilizing braces like the one used in Boulder, Colorado, in a shooting last month that left 10 dead. On Thursday, family members whose children were killed at the Sandy Hook, Connecticut school massacre in 2012 and the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida in 2018 attended the meeting. Biden thanked them for attending, saying he understood it would remind them of the awful days when they got the calls. He assured them, "We're absolutely determined to make change." Biden's Thursday announcement delivers on a pledge the president made last month to take what he termed immediate common-sense steps to address gun violence after a series of mass shootings drew renewed attention to the issue. His announcement came the same day as yet another, this one in South Carolina, where 5 people were killed. Biden emphasized the scope of the problem between the mass killings in Atlanta massage businesses and the Colorado grocery store shooting last month. There were more than 850 additional shootings that killed 250 and injured 500 in the U.S., he said. In more national news, expert says lack of oxygen killed George Floyd, not drugs. George Floyd died of a lack of oxygen from being pinned to the pavement with a knee on the neck. A medical expert testified at former Officer Derek Chauvin's murder trial Thursday, emphatically rejecting the defense theory that Floyd's drug use and underlying health problems were what killed him. "A healthy person subjected to what Mr. Floyd was subjected to would have died," said the prosecution witness, Dr. Martin Tobin, a lung and critical care specialist at the Edward Hines Jr. VA Hospital. Using easy-to-understand language to explain medical concepts and even loosening his necktie to make a point, Tobin told the jury that Floyd's breathing was severely constricted while Chauvin and 2 other officers held the 46-year-old man down on his stomach last May with his hands cuffed behind his back and his face jammed against the ground. The lack of oxygen resulted in brain damage and caused his heart to stop, the witness said. And finally, in entertainment news, Netflix scores streaming rights to new top Sony films. Netflix further beefed up its film catalog on Thursday in a multi-year deal that will make it the new streaming home to Sony Pictures' top releases in the U.S. Beginning next year, Sony's new films will exclusively stream domestically on Netflix after their theatrical runs. That includes movies and popular franchises like Spider-Man, Venom, and Jumanji, and 2022 releases. The agreement also gives Netflix a first-look option on any films the Culver City, California-based studio elects to send directly to streaming. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Shake yourself loose from the grip of the ego. The ego's grip is an illusion. It controls your choices. The ego attempts to keep God and your true success away from you. Your ego wants your life journey to pretend to go along peacefully. It allows your motives, judgments, and expectations to guide your intentions. You are perfectly happy with your ego just as long as everything goes your way. Real life just doesn't happen this way. At times, you may find yourself in this happy-go-lucky place when life throws a curveball. This is God's way of keeping you in balance and keeping your ego out of balance. These hard knocks are learning lessons. They are in your life to teach you to choose differently. Stay humbled, letting go of your ego mind. You are a very small part of the world God created, and you exist to aid in the healing of our world. Today, understand joy exists within you, whether things go your way or not, and enjoy the day.
Actress Valerie Jane Parker is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Actress Valerie Jane Parker joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her acting journey and her new film, The Voices. Here's a bit of our conversation. You've already been doing a lot of interviews like this, Valerie, so what has it been like for you to see the early response to the film?
It's been so exciting. It's just great to see how people respond to it, especially the messages of hope and positivity that it's leaving people with, which you don't normally get when you do a horror film. It's just been really exciting for me to see people excited about it and uplifted.
I think the interesting thing about your own career, though, Valerie, is that you've been able to bring to life a lot of different types of characters. I was just sharing with you before we went on. You know, I got to know you, of course, definitely by name because of Greenleaf on the Oprah Winfrey Network. You've been a part of some other great projects as well. Is that part of the fun for you as an actor, to be able to slip into the skin of different types of characters?
100%. People always ask if I prefer doing comedy or drama, and my answer is just I want to do the opposite of whatever I just did. So it is so fun playing a wide range of characters. That's the joy of it for me. And Lily to Judy could not be two more different people.
Right. So I want to talk about, though, the win for you, because I think, for all of us, especially in the creative community, I think, there comes a point when we kind of know. When did you know that this was for you, that this was the gift you'd been given?
Honestly, since I was about 6 years old. It is literally all I've wanted to do. There are a lot of other things in life that I'm blessed to say make me happy and that I've had talents in, but nothing else that I felt called to do. I have always loved telling other people's stories. It affects the way I see the world. It helps me humanize every person I meet, and it's just been such a gift to me.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll have you guys on Monday with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course the Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.